Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Trading with Ashley show. Nvda. When Nvidia sneezes, the entire market catches a cold. I think the saying goes something like that. And it makes sense, right? Because Nvidia is comprised of, it's about 10% of the NASDAQ and about 5% of the S&P. So it's very heavily weighted, and for good reason. It's a solid company with a great balance sheet. This news, though, hit hard. We had a double whammy today. We had the situation with them not being able to send their chips to China any longer. And then on top of that, we had Jerome Powell speaking today talking about how the tariffs will more than likely increase inflation and that he would not be looking at a rate cut at this point due to the dynamics with the tariffs. And so that put incredible pressure on an already fragile situation. And obviously because of that, the VIX did spike again. We got back up to almost 35 today. And, remember, it's really not a tranquil environment to trade in unless the VIX is under 20. And I really personally like it closer to about 15. But you have to trade what the market gives you. And so with that volatility spike, when it happened, I went in search of some opportunities, and they're already paying off. I don't know if we're going to have more downside tomorrow or if we'll get a little bit of a reprieve from all the red. Basically, I took advantage of the elevated IV to get more premium on a trade. And being able to take advantage of that elevated IV, I was able to go out further in time to the end of the year, and I was able to go down really low in strike price. And going down lower in strike price is helpful because it requires, when you're selling puts, it requires enough cash to buy 100 shares of the stock you're selling a put on at the strike price that you have selected. So typically, I might look at a strike price for Nvidia where it was trading today, maybe at $100, which would require about $10,000 in capital. But because I went further out and because the VIX is so high, I was able to go down to $75 in strike price. So it was only requiring $7,500 in capital to put on the trade. And I went further out to help insulate me against further downside if it comes and avoid the dynamic of early assignment. Also, it allows the market to calm down, and when the market calms down, I will buy this trade back more than likely at about the 50% mark, and then that will release my funds for other trades. So that would be great because what you're going to see on the return, it's not great because I'm having to go out till the end of the year. But if I'm able to get 50% of that premium in just a matter of 30 days or so, and that's very realistic because at the end of the day today, after I made the trade, it looks like it's already in profit by 10% because Nvidia just moved up a few dollars from where we were when I sold the trade. And so because of that, I'm going to be able to buy it back much sooner. And in this environment where there's so much red, you want to try to get every little win where you can. Now, I am consistently looking for ways to take advantage of this market and find trades that will allow us to make a little bit of money, but also keep us safe. So in this situation, we will more than likely be able to get out in short order and be just fine. But if not, I didn't want to have a dynamic where we're put the shares early and we have to suffer through bigger drawdowns, because this is truly more of a man-made situation that we're seeing in the markets. And so it doesn't really follow as many patterns as we have seen in the past. And so we're going to have to keep an eye on everything, but nobody knows. We could be one tweet away from a V-shaped recovery, or it could be a larger, drawn-out issue. So I sure hope that cooler heads prevail and that we are able to get out of this situation soon, and just looking at different ways to try to capitalize on the crazy volatility while it's here. Now, if you are going to try to replicate a trade like this, you want to go super low. I went back a year in time to try to get this trade down to a level that I would be okay owning it. And you want to ensure that you've got plenty of cash to the side, because you don't want to put all your money in a market that may not yet have found its bottom. We just have to wait and see. So if you've got a little bit of money to the side and you want to do a trade like this, I'm going to take you and show you all the details so that you can get in on the action and just make a little bit of money while we wait for the tide to turn. If you look at the technical analysis on Nvidia, you have to go back almost a full year to April of 2024 to get Nvidia at around that $75 mark. So that is going to be what I try to do. I'm going to try to accomplish getting Nvidia at $75, and I am going to be paid quite a bit for doing that. Let's go to the option chain and see what we can find. We're going to do this in Robinhood. So once you get in Robinhood, you want to go to Trade Robinhood Options right here. And then I am going to look at the November time frame. That is going to be about 219 days away. You want to go to Sell, Put, and then you want to scroll down to the $75 mark. I made this trade earlier there, you see right there, but for the sake of showing you how it's done, I'm going to go ahead and click this on. You're going to get paid $515 to agree to buy Nvidia at $75. Now, this is a long time to tie up your money, so more than likely what will happen if Nvidia turns around and heads back up, if the VIX comes down so volatility dies down, then what I was paid $515 for will more than likely in short order, maybe in the next 30 to even 60 days, it will whittle down to $250, which is great because then I could buy it back and keep the difference, and that would release my funds. So to make this trade, you go ahead and press continue. And here it's going to show you how much you're receiving for it, but it's also going to show you your max loss. But I want you to realize that would be if Nvidia went to zero. And based on the way we looked at Nvidia with how much money they have, how much cash on the balance sheet, this is unlikely. But they do put that on there just so you'll fully understand the risk when you're making this trade. Now, if you see this trade that I made just a little bit earlier, I did receive $520, and you can see it's already whittled down 5 cents. So I've got $5 to the green right now. But this will continue to whittle down if Nvidia bounces back. Now, if Nvidia pulls back further, that's okay. I have a lot of time left in this trade for it to work in my favor. Now, if you want to go out much further, you can with the intent of buying this one back early as well. Take a look at this one. This one does not expire until 12/18 of 2026. It is the $75 level. And look, it's paying $12.40 a share. So that's $1,240 that I will receive in premium. But again, I want to be very upfront. I will more than likely buy this back very shortly, and then that way it will release my funds once I get the maximum opportunity out of this. So this is a safer way, in my opinion, to play a stock. It takes a little bit more money, but you don't have to worry about time decay because time decay is actually working in my favor. With me being the option seller, each day that passes, I actually get a little bit more of this to my benefit versus worrying about time decay eating up my profits. One more thing I wanted to show you on the analysis tab so you can get a sense for the health of this company. Here is how they continue to bring in revenue, and then they bring so much of it to the bottom line. Now, obviously, we are having a little bit of a hiccup with what's going on with China right now, and so this could definitely dig into this just a little, but it's just a fraction of what they bring in overall. So it is definitely fear that is driving the market right now, but this shows you that this is a healthy company and one that I would not owning at, to me, not even a fair price, but a bargain basement price, especially if you look at before all of this drama started, the price targets on it went as high as $220. So those might be revised down with all the changes, but still, anything that is in the middle of the span would still be a win, especially if I happen to pick it up at $75. I hope you found this helpful and it gives you some ideas. If you want to join me for more daily interactions, then feel free to click the link below. Book a brief call. You'll talk with my team. They're going to show you the Discord. They're going to find out if this is something that may be a good fit for you. And if so, we will trade with you as early as next week. Looking forward to talking to all of you next week. I hope you enjoy a long weekend. Remember, if you are with me, Trading with Ashley, there is no trader left behind. Now, if you want some tips, more tips on how to trade a volatile market, I'm going to leave that video for you right here.